In today's class, I'm going to be sewing the peplum. This peplum, that's 720 and 360. This is 720. In the next video, I'll show you how to do one for 40, as in sew, cut and sew. So this 720, this is what it eventually look like at the end of the day. And then the next one here is 360. You can see the difference in the flay. And then I'll show you how to achieve it with lining, gum stay, with the fabric. So this is the top that I'm going to attaching the peplum to. Okay, so let's start. This is the fabric I'm using. This satin and lining. Satin, you have satin here for the top part and lining for the under part. Before we start, one of you was struggling with understanding the waist measurement for each of the degree peplum. So let's take this one as 360, and then this one as 720, and the other one as 1440. So what happens after you fold the fabric into 4? So we're just using this as an example. You will divide your waist measurement for 360 by 4. So if your waist measurement says 24, divided by 4 will give you 6 inches. So I'm going to curve it to a point where it gets to 6 inches. And then I'm going to mark that 6 inches curve out. Okay? That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. So I'm marking this out right now. And so that's for 360. So let me take this one at 720, and you divide your waist measurement by 8. 24 divided by 8 here will give me 3. Okay, that's I'm taking that. See, the waist measurement is 24 divided by 8 is 3. For the same waist measurement, that's what I'm trying to use here, assuming this fabric is folded into 4. So this is 1440 now that we want to take for the waist measurement, and then that's divided by 16. Waist measurement divided by 16, and for this one is 1.5. That's 24 divided by 16 will give you 1.5. And so I create a curve that is just by 1.5. Okay, so now once I'm done with that, I'm cutting out this waist measurement to further explain, because she was asking, won't it be wider when you have more fabrics? So now I'm going to just create the length of the peplum flay before cutting on each of them. So now that I'm done, I'm going to cut it out quickly and then label it, okay, so that it doesn't get confusing for those of you who didn't get to understand, especially one particular person that had to be on voice call with. Okay, now this is 360. I'm labeling it here. And then this one, I took it for 720, and then I took this one for 1440. Now, from explanation, you can see that each of them, their wideness on the waist is different. The 360 is wider than the 720 and the 1440. The 720 is double the 360, and 1440 is 4 times the 360. So you need 4 times of 1440 to get the same waist measurement with 360. Do you understand? You need 4 times of that, and 2 times of 720. That's 2 fabrics, the add joints together to get that same waist measurement that will give you 24. So now let's get straight into doing that of 360. Okay, so now you fold the fabric like I showed you with the first illustration, which is the cutting, and then you mark, take your chalk mark. This is your waist part after you fold it into 4, and then you create that mark of your waist measurement divided by 4. You add about 1.5 or 2 inches for zip allowance, and then you divide it by 4. So if your waist measurement is, say, 30 plus 2 inches, 32, then you divide it by 4. Very simple. I'm just creating the marks, and then I'm going to use chalk and then rule out the curve. The chalk is not so visible. That's why I used the marker in the first video. But I believe you understand this. So I'm going to just create the length. For the length here is 3 inches for the shorter side. So I'm using that to create the length for the rest. So that's 3 inches marking. Then I use that to create the curve for the length of the peplum. So once I'm done doing that, I cut it out. Okay, I cut out the excess parts that we don't need. And then you can see this is what it looks like, a circle form. Okay, you're going to have to use this to trace out the lining. So this is the lining. You fold it into 4. the way you folded that one, and then you place this one on top of it and trace it. You can use chalk, okay, to draw it out, to trace it, or you can use pins and just secure it carefully. Okay, just secure it carefully, and then use scissors to cut out, so that you're using the pins to secure it so that it doesn't shift. Okay, so then I'm cutting it out right now. Okay, so once I'm done cutting it out, I take out the pins from that I use in securing it, and then you have both your lining for the fabric and then the satin or whatever fabric you're using. So now you have to, for you are doing a traditional way, you need to use a stay. There are different types of stay. There's air stay, there's hot stay, there's paper stay, depending on the one you want to use. For this one, I'm using gum stay. For a 360, I'm using gum because I want the style to stand. So you just put the gum stay on it, iron it, and then trace it and cut it out. So you iron it to gum to the fabric, okay, and then this is the result. You cut in between the midpoint, the way I taught you, and then you interface the lining and the fabric together to sew. So I'm done sewing it like this. I don't hope you can see it. Then you open it up, well, open it, and when you are done opening it, you iron it out. Okay, so this is me opening it up right now, straightening it out, and then I'm going to now iron it. So once you iron it, it will lap very well. So this is after ironing it. You can see it's smooth enough, and so the peplum is ready for you to sew and attach to. So this is what it looks like when you place it on the top. I didn't sew it because I'm going to still do the next peplum, which is this one, the 720-degree peplum, which you use 2 fabrics to make it. You understand? 2 fabrics to make it, and your measurement is divided by 8. So now divide your measurement by 8. You will see that your waist here will be smaller. That will be half of, that's the waist measurement for both of them will be half of your waist measurement for 360. That will make it the same. Okay, so now when you're doing 720, you add an extra 1 inch. So if it was 30, that was your waist measurement, you add 2 inches for zip allowance and 1 inch for joining. Okay, so that's 33 divided by 4. That's what you take for your waist measurement. Okay, I'm just assuming that it's 30 now. So I cut out the excess part. That's the way I did the 360. And I have to trace it both on the fabric, and you have 2 linings now. Each of them will have its own lining. Okay, so I'm done. This one is the lining for the fabric, and then the fabric itself, that's the lining, and then the fabric, that's the satin I'm using. So I'm done putting it on the stay, and now I want to cut it. Like, I'm done putting on a stay and cutting it out, just cutting out the remaining parts. So I did both the stay on the lining as well, and then I cut in between the middle, and then just the same way you're going to interface it. If you are struggling with interfacing it, you can just pin it the way I pin it here before sewing, so that you don't have issues. So this is me done sewing it, and then I'm just opening it up. Okay, I'm just going to rush this part quickly and then iron it. So after ironing it, you take the 2 of them, okay, and sew the edge the way I showed in the first video. Okay, you sew it like this. This is it. You join them together like this, and then it is done. It is finished. So let's see what it eventually looks like once you put on the mannequin. Okay, so this is the result. You can see that the 720-degree is more ruffled because of the fact that you are using 2 fabrics. Okay, it's more ruffled. And so in the next video, I'll show you how to do the 1440-degree peplum. Thank you.